What up, guys? Craig here, Fergie Time. This is episode 16. I got Jeremy Rowe on today. He is a musical jeeper. That's what he is. No, he's a songwriter, sings great songs. He sang Jeep Thang and Jeep Girl, but he also has a lot of great songs. Definitely check him out. But I'm excited to have him on. He's going to talk about just life on the road. He's got 6 kids, how he deals with that, and just so much more. So definitely like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, this is Craig, Fergie Time. This is episode 16. So Jeremy, I've just so you're aware, Fergie Time, I just interview cool people doing cool stuff and off-road and all that. So I've had businesses, Jeepers, all that. You are the first musician that I have interviewed, and I heard your stuff. Oh man, way early on. I think it was Jeep Thang.
That was the first one.
That was the first one I heard, and then you're doing some stuff with Jedco. I interviewed Jedco, and then I interviewed this guy.
Oh yeah, Mr. David McPhee.
David.
Yeah.
I interviewed David, and I read your story, and I thought it was cool. So I just wanted to reach out and hang out with me and chat off-road, music, all that fun stuff. So just tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into first off-road stuff, and then we'll hit the music stuff.
Right on. Well, thanks for having me, and I appreciate being lumped in with the other cool kids. I was not cool growing up.
No?
I told my wife that the other day. She was like, I'm sure you were beating them off with a stick. I'm like, I was a nerd, man. I was all by my lonesome and, wearing my starter stuff from Walmart. So I'm in Oklahoma, just north of Oklahoma City. I grew up on the south side of Oklahoma City in a suburb called Moore. You might know that for it's infamous for all the tornadoes it gets. Yeah, so I moved up to Edmond, just north of the city. But anywhere in Oklahoma City, pretty much in suburbs, you can get anywhere in about 30 minutes. My parents were big off-roaders whenever I was growing up. So my dad had an S10 that he, like an old, 80s model takeout, and then he got into the XJs. I remember he had like a 92 red and jacked up and awesome. And eventually it just kind of morphed into the TJs and the JKs. And
you have a TJ, right?
I have a JKU, a 2017 JKU. And it's cheap blue. Okay. And my wife talked me into that color, and at first I was resistant, but now I tell her all the time, like, thanks for talking me into that color, because not everybody has it, and it's so much easier to find, coming out of the grocery store or whatever.
Jacked up, lifted, big tires, the works, or what?
Minimally jacked up. We got 2.5-inch metal cloak game changer lift on it. And then 35s. I hadn't wanted to go any bigger yet. Don't want to go through the re-gear process and all like that just yet. And eventually I'm going to do some...
So you were in the Jeep life before the music life?
Yeah, I grew up in it. My parents go off-roading a lot. Now, when I was younger, I didn't want much to do with it. I thought it was kind of boring. Yeah, now I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have paid more attention and really just soaked it in and enjoyed it, and wrenched a little bit more with my dad and that kind of thing. And it's something we can bond over now. And I honestly, at the time, even up until my wife and I got interested in buying our Jeep, we didn't realize how massive the Jeep community was. Just kind of thought it was an Oklahoma redneck kind of thing, like we're the ones that get rocks and stuff. And I had no idea, even with the internet, I still had no idea how massive the community was, and not just Jeeps, but the entire off-road community. It's still mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, is there a lot of wheeling in Oklahoma?
We've got a few really good places in Oklahoma.
Like off-road parks or just straight up trails?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a couple. Well, you know what? There's one off-road park, or two, that I know of, 2 actual parks. And then there is a river dam that is very popular, that's open to the public and free and amazing. And that's where we filmed Jeep Girl at, the music video there. That place is incredible. It's probably my favorite place. because it's just a lot of rocks. And then if you want to get off in the trails and climb, steep hills, dirt and roots, and, being super technical, you could do that. These massive staircases and gravel beds. It's pretty awesome. And I have been to some other places. I don't want to knock on other states, but when I go to those other states and participate, to me it's kind of boring because it's flat and it's just a lot of mud, and that's not my thing. I like to actually climb stuff.
So what is your bucket list for wheeling?
So I want to go to...
Is Moab on the list?
Oh, most definitely. And I'm going to get to go experience Utah a little bit here in October. I will be in Hurricane near Sand Hollow, so I get to go check that place out. It's a few hours from Moab, but it'll be my first taste of anything west of Oklahoma.
Is that for Trail Hero or just...
Yeah, that's exactly it. Trail Hero Music Fest.
It's a music fest.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah,
I look at it as a Jeep fest. I didn't know it was a music fest too.
I guess it's.
I wonder if they're the same dates.
It's one and the same, yeah. And so there's a music festival going on during Trail Hero. That's kind of like going to be the highlight of my year, I think, because we have done a lot of shows in the Midwest, down in Florida and Alabama. Matter of fact, we'll be in Alabama here in a couple weeks. But it's like we've been to all those places a lot, but we've never been west of Oklahoma, so this will be our first trip.
Cool. So you grew up Oklahoma, moves around, grew up with Jeep life. When did you start writing songs?
Oh man, so I started writing early 2019. Went through a divorce, and that kind of sparked a lot of inspiration, and so I started writing during that time, but just writing for myself, really putting feelings on paper and just trying to process. And then an open mic going on not far from my place, and somebody had invited me out to go do that, and I didn't even know what to sing because I was only playing these few brand new terrible songs that I had done. So I learned a few cover songs real quick, and I went out there and did that and got a good response, and so I was, it made me feel good, and I thought, man, maybe I can actually try to make a go at this. So I just kept writing and started linking up with other people that were writing and doing what they call co-writing. Started getting out and play some more open mics. Next thing you know, I was getting booked to come play shows of my own, and so my first whole year or so, like 2019 to mid 2020 or so, that's all I was doing, was just cover gigs. And then my wife and I were headed to Arkansas on a trip, and we were talking about getting a Jeep of our own, and kept seeing other Jeeps on the road, picking out colors that we liked and some of these upgrades and stuff that we like, and which ones we thought that were absolutely gaudy and like we'd never do that. But to each their own.
So I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
Yeah, so we were, we get there and it was raining most of the time. We were there, and one night it stopped raining. We decided we're going to go out for dinner. I got the idea right before we left. I'm like, I wonder if there's any Jeep songs out there. I kind of pitched the idea to my wife real quick, like, hey, is that too cheesy? Like, Jeep songs? And she was like, it's cheesy, but, maybe try it. So I just sat down before we went out to dinner and wrote Jeep Thing. And that next week after we got back, I went and played another open mic, or like an artist showcase or whatever. And I was like, hey, what do y'all think about this Jeep song? It got thrown up on YouTube, and then it just kind of took off from there. All the songs after that have just been me kind of, expanding on the community and on the idea of the Jeep and off-road life, and going from being just about Jeeps to more inclusive of other aspects of the community. Went from Jeep Thing to Jeep Girl, and then Off-Road Family. I got some new ones coming up that'll be inclusive as well. So I was talking to my producer, and I was like, I don't want to be just like the Jeep song guy. And
that's exactly what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. And he was like, well, if it works, just keep doing it, why not? And I said, well, I got all these other songs I want to put out there and show people. And so then we've kind of been doing both.
So I've heard the Jeep Thing one, and then the Jeep Girl. That's a really good song. Like I like that. I don't think of that as a Jeep song. I just think of that as a good song. You know what I mean?
Nice. I appreciate that. That's good.
But I listened to some of your other songs. I really like the Oklahoma one, the newest one, the Country Enough for Me.
Yeah.
Dude, I like the vibe where that's going. So I met my wife. So I was in a band.
Right on.
And I was electric guitar. I was the lead guitarist, and my wife was the singer. And we gigged and we toured, and like we opened for some big bands back in the day. We opened for Cheap Trick. It's hard. It's hard writing writing original tunes and coming up with stuff. And for us, it was more organic because my wife was a singer. She wrote all the lyrics, and I would come up with the riffs and stuff. Are you like in a band? Is it like the Jeremy Rowe band, or is it you and you just hire background people?
My band has been with me since day one. Whenever I realized that I needed to record Jeep Thing, and that was because I just did that acoustic video on YouTube, and it got a lot of positive response. I think like within a week it had like 18,000 views, which is more than I had ever had on anything. And so I was like, oh man, this might work. Hightailed it to Nashville real quick and recorded that song with a studio there called Baird Music Group. I'm talking, I walked in, 4 hours later I walked out with the song in my hand. It was pretty wild, and it's just, I mean, you've heard it. It's like, man, these guys are absolutely pro. On the way back, I told my wife, I said, I think I got to put a band together. I erased my list because I was just in stitches over it, trying to figure out who to call, whatever. I erased my list, and I just thought, like, if I could call anybody, who would it be? And it was Casey, who's my lead electric player, who I met at an open house, and then my bassist Christian, met him when I was doing those cover shows. I ended up setting up and playing after him one day, and then John, my drummer, met him filling in at a church for somebody one day, and then I invited him out a couple times, and we went and played. And so I called all those guys up because I appreciated their musicianship and just who they were as people, and they all said yes. And so they've been with me since day one.
Any fun stories with you guys on the road?
All I can think about is like inappropriate ones, of course, but but we've had some really good times, and we sweated out on the bus all the time because there's no AC on this partially converted school bus. But yeah, we've had some good times, but nothing particular that stands out that's like appropriate to share. Oh yeah.
And I think I saw this in the book. You have 6 kids?
6 kids, yeah. We're a blended family. I had 3 with my previous marriage, and my wife had 2 kids when I met her, and then we had 1 together.
Dude, it's like straight up Brady Bunch.
Man, it is. It's wild, but it's cool, man. So we either always have 6, or we always have 3, or we've got 6, because I've got my 3 every other week. Yeah, there's always kids.
So how do you balance that? Like
with color-coded calendars, just do my best to stay on top of it, and try to keep them, priority 1, and everything else has to kind of fit in around it.
Well, how often do you tour?
So we're pretty much out. Well, there was a time we were out every weekend, and it kind of got to like 3 weekends a month. Started reeling it back in a little bit more. Got it to where we were only going out once a month, like on the weekends. We used to be about like comfort, and get in early and stay the night in a hotel, and then hang out the next day, play the show, stay the night in a hotel, tool on back the next day, whatever. We don't do that anymore. We got tired of being away from home so much, so we got it down to a science now, pretty much. If we're playing a show Friday or Saturday or whatever, we'll leave the day before, as soon as everybody gets off work and gets their family situated. We'll drive overnight, get there when we get there, find breakfast, nap a little bit if we can, and then load in, play the show, and as soon as the show's done, we kick rocks and drive overnight back home.
So when you're out jeeping, do you like go on a trail and you're like, oh man, this would be a cool song, I should write a song about this?
So I wish I could say that. It's never that like lightning.
No, it's not.
In a bottle moment, and you know that from writing riffs and stuff. It's like my times of inspiration is like all of that's like cumulative experience and knowledge, right? I'll be in the shower and I'll get an idea. Be driving from somewhere, and I get an idea, and I'll like voice to text it in my phone real quick, or voice memo, and then go back and visit it later. But usually that's how it goes. And in the beginning I was writing all by myself, but now I've got some co-writers that I can call on. And I consider myself to be like the idea guy. I've got the inspiration for the song. I'll show up with a starter, a chorus or a piece of a line for a verse or whatever. Usually my other 2 or 3 people in the room have ideas to build on that, or they'll just tell me, no, this is a crap song, let's write something else.
Do any of your children help with your songwriting?
No, not outside of like inspiration. They just stop me in my tracks kind of thing and inspire me. So I even wrote a song in the very beginning called Stop Me in My Tracks, and it was like when they were asking hard questions. And I got a song that I'm going to put out next year called Best Job I Ever Had, and that's just about being a dad. I definitely have kind of leaned into writing more family songs. So
like Dad Bod.
Oh yeah, that's another one of my genius cheesy ideas. But seriously, I was in this mental angst of, do I want to fix my lifestyle and get healthier, or do I just want to full on embrace this dad bod thing that I got going on? And at the time I was all in dad bod, like whatever, I don't care, I'm just gonna be happy. I was miserable because I was just eating crap and feeling like crap all the time, not exercising, 25 pounds heavier than I am now.
Dude, good for you.
Thanks, man. So, certainly not where I want to be. I still have a dad bod, just less dad bod-ish.
Have you performed at like a Jeep event?
That's 90% of what we do is Jeep shows.
Really?
At first it was kind of like, man, I don't want to just do Jeep things. And then finally I was like, you know what? That's pretty much all I want to do, because I don't want to be on the road nonstop. Like some of my friends are just constantly gone. I just started pulling back and just decided we're gonna start really just taking the Jeep shows, because they're almost always on the weekend and they're within a drive or a flight or whatever, and we can make it happen and get back home. And I've been so surprised at how many Jeep shows there are. Of course, there's the big ones, Daytona and Tennessee, and some of these other.
Did you play at Jeep Beach?
I did. Yeah, it was. I can't remember what year. 2022, I think. We've been all over the place. This year was our first year. It was called Jeep Branson, and I think it was actually their first Jeep event at the convention center. So, and it's a good mix. It's like a lot of like convention center style shows, show and shine kind of thing, and vendor alleys is what they usually call them, or vendor villages. And then you got the other side in conjunction with wheeling. And so you got an off-road park or a private land with trails or whatever, and people are getting together, and it's a trail wheeling event. And then at night we just congregate and we're the entertainment, and they've got some food. Those are kind of my favorite things, I think. Where it's
you need to play at the Rubicon Trail.
I've heard about it, man.
There
was two people.
I've seen videos and they have bands. Like I've seen them have a band there. Like, dude, you would.
You're the third person that's mentioned that one to me this year, like within recent months. So I definitely want to look into it.
Do you have a favorite song that you sing? Like, not a favorite song, like, oh, this is my favorite song we ever wrote. Like a favorite song when you're playing live.
It's really any of those Jeep songs,
Yeah.
It's like I think it's always it's kind of a mixed bag.
Do they know the lyrics? Do they sing with you?
Yeah, that's what's kind of fun about it. And
dude, that's awesome.
See the phones come out, and that's fun. And I'm always torn because it's like, oh man, I wish some of my other songs were that popular. But it's like whatever, what they like
dude,
is what they like. You know what I mean?
They'll get there. Some of those other songs are really good, man. They'll get
sure.
there. I don't know. Sneak peek into some stuff that you have coming up. Upcoming projects, songs.
Yeah, we got a song that we're gonna put out just before playing at Trail Hero, and it's called "Let's Go Off Road," and I'm just stoked about it. We've been playing it out, so some people are familiar with it already, but we haven't released it yet. So it'll be coming out here in a few weeks. And then we've had a ton of people asking, like since year one, for a Jeep Christmas song, and I'm like, I don't even know how to do that. So
I have been trying to get Jedco, and I know you're rocking some Jedco, and I know you talk to
always
you talk to Jedco, and they promote you, and I've been trying to get them to do a Jeep Christmas sweater type.
Oh yeah, that'd be so cool. Yeah,
I think totally. You should go with your Jeep Christmas song.
Let's talk to Woo and get it done. We're recording it right now, and it's coming together. It's called Merry Jeepin' Christmas, and it's basically just a Christmas list of everything that we want for our Jeeps. Of course, I make it personal to me, but try to include some of the things. It's like, what are some of the first things that people like to do to their Jeeps, and so I try to incorporate that into the song. And I think we got one other Jeep song we're going to put out this year, and then one other like non-off-road related song.
I know a lot of people going to Trail Hero, so that's awesome that you're going. I'll tell them to look you up for sure.
Yeah, we're playing Thursday night at 7:50 is our downbeat time. So Thursday night, October 3rd, 7:50, and it's on the Monster stage, sponsored by Monster Energy. Yeah, I think everybody defines success differently, and And I think like just being able to do what I've been able to do as an independent artist, travel the country, play shows for 3 to 5, 7,000 people. That's not all the time. Most of the time it's like 30 to 100 people or whatever. But being able to do that and come home to my family, like I've achieved the success that I was looking for. So if it all goes away today or tomorrow, I'm happy. Had a good time, and I'll be able to live on that forever.
So, dude, I got some rapid fire questions for you. Invisibility or super strength?
Man, that's a tough one. Probably gonna go with invisibility though. I would like to be able to do more stuff like in the background without the people being knowledgeable of who was doing it, or I guess.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Dawn or dusk?
Probably a dawn, nice and cool with coffee. Sounds amazing.
Who is it easier, men or women?
Golly, I'm gonna have to say men. I'm gonna go smart here because we don't have to birth children. Oh, thank God. Those women are troopers, man.
Which artist would you like to meet?
I'm gonna go with Tim McGraw, though. Tim McGraw, yeah. I think he was like the first. I grew up listening to 90s country, but I think like there was a song of his that I was like, oh man, I think I really do like country music, because when you're a kid, you want to be against everything your parents do, right? And so they listen to country music all the time. Johnny's Daddy, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is quite a song.
If there's one band out there that you could join, what band would that be?
Probably Zach Brown Band. You should see him. I think he's got like 9 members in his band now. It's crazy.
Oh really?
So, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's a lot. But they're all incredible musicians.
What's the worst name you could give a pet?
I guess one of your kids' names, so you get them mixed up.
There you go. All right, last one. If your life had a theme song, what song would it be?
Alabama, I'm in a hurry to get things done. The chorus is, I'm in a hurry to get things done. I rush and rush until life's no fun. All I really got to do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. The whole song is just about being in a hurry, not really enjoying the moment. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of slow down a little bit and enjoy the moment.
Well, dude, thanks for hanging out and chatting. Yeah. It was fun. Hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. It's good to get to know you a little bit more. I really dig that shirt. All right, we meant to ask you earlier, are you a skater?
Used to be big BMXer. That was awesome, huh? Jeremy Rowe, thanks for hanging out. Just what a down-to-earth guy. And I'm going to reach out to Jedco, and hopefully we do this Merry Jeepmas sweater song combo or something. But anyways, subscribe, all that good stuff. If there's anybody else you'd like us to talk to, definitely give me a shout, let me know. And I just appreciate you guys. Thanks.